Hey guys, welcome back. Today we have a really exciting video. I think more exciting for the lady next to me than for anyone else.
I'm kind of excited to talk about this. This is a big deal. So yeah.
We get to talk about her first book.
Yeah.
I don't know if all of you know that Sherry is an author and she's written 2 books.
Yep. Me and Jesus got busy back in 2013, and it was kind of a long process. It was funny because actually putting my stories, down, on the computer, they flowed one after another, but then all of a sudden it was like, I'm like, okay, I'm done. I don't need to tell any more stories. And then when I had it printed, it's a little thin, but it's a nice, sweet little book to get started. So, you got to cut your teeth on.
Well, and you're currently writing another one now, right?
Yeah, actually I kind of got 2 going.
So it's, it was what God used to get her in the process and to grow her in the area of writing. I mean, did you ever think you would write a book?
No, never dreamed that I would do something like that.
The fact that she's got 2 books, and I'll be right back with the other one. She's got, the first book she wrote is
God's Car Wash, Faith, Hope, and Buckets of Soap.
And there's a story behind that title, so don't go away yet. You'll hear it in a minute. And the second book she wrote is
3:16, It's Time to Discover God's Truth, Power, and Promises for Your Life. So this one's more of a devotional.
Right.
This one I call my big girl book. So,
but we're not going to talk about this one today. We'll do that another time. Because it's not fair to give it any attention. We're going to go to this one today.
Just my little first sweet book. Yeah.
So, what led you? Let's talk about the title. Let's talk about this title because honestly, there's a story there.
Right. God's Car Wash. Well, listen, everything we own is the Lord's. And I owned a car wash in Winter Park for years.
Winter Park, Florida.
Yeah, Winter Park, Florida. So my late husband, Jim, actually worked at it as a single dad when he was raising his daughter by himself. And then we got married, and he introduced me to that business. So we worked full time,
right?
And by night we did the car wash, and then we were there every weekend too. So I learned a lot about the car wash business, and then so I have some real powerful stories about how God just worked in my life at this car wash.
Well, I want to first share. Sherry's husband Jim, she's currently married to Donnie, but her husband at the time, his name was Jim, he passed away, and Sherry was left to take care of this car wash. And to say that,
which is so funny,
did you have a lot of experience?
I had enough experience hosing down bays and dumping trash.
Exactly.
My husband Jim did everything, and so God sometimes, stretches us, and we can do all things through Christ. We may look like Lucy and Ethel doing it. I took my girlfriends with me quite a few times. If they needed their car washed, they'd drive me over there so they'd get a free car wash. So I have some really great memories of the car wash business, but I also have some really great testimonies about how God worked in my life. To me, I really felt like the car wash was my wilderness experience because I was in PR and corporate communications for a long time at Sprint. Right. So I was kind of like a corporate girl. And then to be thrown into this business all by myself, I did have the former owner help me for years until he got too old to do it.
Right. George, right?
Yeah, George, God bless him. And
So really, the book God's Car Wash, it's your little testimonies, right?
Right.
It's a collection of your little stories.
Yeah, I think there's about 13 in them. It's just a quick little read. It's full of hope and encouragement.
Yes, it is, definitely.
Some real a real powerful story in there is parenting for a purpose. Parenting is it's really tough when you're a step parent. So I cover that topic, and that God I just knew God saw me in so many situations that I found myself in that car wash. I actually heard the Lord.
Well, I wanted you to go ahead and maybe share that, if it's
that
okay,
story?
share that story.
That's one of my
a few weeks
stories.
back, I did a video solo. Sherry wasn't with me that week, and I shared about her standing in front of the electrical box connecting the wires.
Yes.
And so I'm going to have her go ahead because, it's different to hear it firsthand, okay?
Yeah. So here's the story, and I'll try to keep it brief. But I went to the car wash with my mom quite a bit, and at the time, she was like 76 years old. I called her my bodyguard, and we pulled up into the car wash one day, and there was a guy washing his car. It was full of suds. Everything was going well, and I went into the office where people can leave notes, and someone just said the rinse cycle wasn't working, and I'm thinking, that guy is right there, he's washing his car.
Right.
And then all of a sudden he went to go rinse his car, and he was like, not a happy customer. He was like, your rinse cycle's not working. So thankfully I was there, got him in another bay, and got him all, loaded up with some money so he could rinse off his car.
Right.
And these self-serve car washes have a box where you drop the coins in, and I opened it up, and all I could see was the horn and all these different colored wires. I am not an electrician. I am not a plumber. I don't know. I had never come across that problem before. My late husband probably had, but I had not. So I clearly said to my mom, we need to pray about this because I don't know how to fix this car wash.
And there's not a lot of people who actually knew how to work on that system,
no,
right?
there was
Because
just George.
Very not to say antiquated, but it's not something
It was almost
common.
50 years old.
Okay.
It was old equipment.
Yes.
It was, but it was sweet. A sweet
It was
little
sweet.
car wash.
Well, go.
So I looked at another bay just to maybe get inspiration, like, okay, maybe there will be something blaring at me, like what's wrong with the unit, why the rinse cycle wasn't coming on. And the first thing I heard was shut off the power, and I was like, oh, that's right, shut off the power. So I went around, shut off the power. Listen, the Lord will tell you what he wants you to do if we just and listen. So I'm just like, okay, shut off the power. And then I clearly heard, Sherry, look at the pink wire. It's not hooked to the red wire. And that was it. And I just thought, Lord, are you trying to tell me how to fix the rinse cycle of this car wash? And he was. So I unhooked the red wire, got the pink wire, put them both together, put them under a screw, screwed it back on. Then I heard, turn the power on, and the thing worked. I was like, whoop. It was awesome. It was just amazing. Like, in my own natural...
Wouldn't have thought of it.
No. Had no idea how to fix that rinse cycle. And so the Lord has really... I don't always hear from the Lord, so, but I did that day, and it made such a big difference in my life. And so that's just one of my many stories.
And God is so personal that he actually, in the process of getting her ready to write this book, in order for her to have stories to share that could encourage others, one of the ones that really impacted me was, well, go ahead and share. It's about it's about the trash, guys. Sometimes he uses trash.
I'm telling you, God's used the trash at the car wash a few times, and one of the most profound times is I was going to dump the trash like I always do, and I dumped it, and when I went to set the garbage can down, there was a Post-it note laying at the bottom, and it said, "You are loved." And I was just starting to meet Donnie. He was coming into my life. He was one of my best customers. He started helping me at the car wash. And, several people were like, well, did Donnie leave you that message? And I'm thinking, well, you got to think about this. That garbage can was full of garbage.
Right.
And then I dumped it. Like, what are the odds this one little Post-it note would be left at the bottom that says you are loved? And I think that was where God was just, parting the clouds and just shining almost like a spotlight on me at that time, just to let me know he saw me.
You needed that encouragement right then and there.
Because I didn't want to work at a car wash.
That was never, as you shared,
no,
that
wasn't my
dream. That was Jim's dream.
Right.
But you were obedient, right?
That was what he gave me for that season.
And she had to walk through that.
Yeah, and another time I pulled out, I dumped the trash in this big dumpster, and I had found this like little card with a blue ribbon on it, and it had Zephaniah 3:17, where it talks about how the Lord delights over us, and He sings over us while we're sleeping, and then it was like, have like peaceful sleep. And at that particular time in my life, I was not having peaceful sleep. There was a lot of things going on in my life, raising teenagers, that was keeping me up at night. And so that's a real powerful story
just
too.
So personal.
He is.
Right?
He really is.
So guys, Sherry, how can they get this if they've ever wanted it?
Yeah.
Because I would highly encourage.
Yeah.
Not that I want, our purpose is to share with you something that Sherry did because she truly felt convicted by the Lord, and she was obedient, and she wrote this just sweet book.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I know that it could encourage you. It could encourage someone in your life, because sometimes it's hard to tell someone, go read the Bible.
Right.
Because number one, it can be pretty daunting.
Yes.
And number two, it's so big that, you never know where it's going to land you. But a little book like this for someone who may be having a very difficult time. I mean, you've got stories where this has gotten... I remember you sharing the story about the lady that was in prison, right?
Yeah,
and got a hold of this.
I think it was through my sweet niece Brittany. She was transporting prisoners for a season in her life, and she took that book with her. And somehow that book got into a prison in Virginia.
Wow.
And this woman, she ended up writing me, I want to say like a 6-page letter. So every chapter impacted her. Right. And then she wrote what it meant to her. So, God's got something for everybody. But
when she did that, it truly spoke to your heart too. Because it encouraged you in knowing that you were doing this in obedience to God. Right.
And just to think that my book somehow found its way into a prison, and was really blessing somebody.
We're going to post the address of where you can get the books if
you can get it on Amazon or eBay.
Yes.
And if you find me on Facebook, I'd be happy to send you a copy too in the mail. So
we'll put some links down below, and if I can't figure out how to do that, I'll be sure to note where you can get it, guys. It is a really sweet book. It's how many pages? It's 77. Yeah. But it is just one of those books that if you know somebody who's in a hospital, if you know someone, just anyone living life, anyone who's living life and needs some hope, some encouragement. What do you say here? Faith, hope, and buckets of soap. It will get you cleaned up.
Yeah, it will. None of us are so dilapidated, dirty, that God can't come in and just make us shiny and new. And I saw it was kind of like a Holy Spirit car wash where our cars get really kind of yucky and and then you go through a car wash and we come out all great. So
so guys, don't forget, the book is called God's Car Wash. It was her first book, and thank you for coming by to visit. Thank you for allowing us to share this with you. One of the things we both have planned is we'd love to do more book reviews, not just on Sherry's books.
But other books that we've read, and
other books, Christian books in general, just that have spoken to us and that we really would love to share with you guys. But today's, it's God's Car Wash.
Thanks,
guys.
I hope you'll be blessed. Have a great day.
Bye.